Welcome to our wire-wrapped sun catchers tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be showing you the tools you will need, the materials, as well as the basic principles to wire wrapping. We will also be showing you how to make a hook at the end for easier and more versatile hanging. You will be using chain nose pliers. These have a small tip. Flat nose pliers, which have a slightly broader tip, and round nose pliers. These are the loop makers, as well as flush cutters. We will also be using a 20 gauge red brass wire. 20 gauge is 0.8 of a millimeter, and utilizing dangles. So the first dangle we're using, we are actually creating more of an angle than a loop because the hole is front to back on the drop. This makes it easier to keep it flexible and instead of being stiff. Each drop and bead will be double looped. In this case, two loops at top. For normal beads where the hole is running from down the center from side to side, there'll be a loop on either side. We've sped this up, but you will see that we make a loop by starting with a P, making a 90-degree angle, threading on the last drop. We use the pliers to protect the loop that we've made while we wind the other wire around, and then use the flat nose pliers to pinch and turn, guiding that wire to make a more consistent wrap. Again, we're making a loop, bringing it around to the 90-degree, wrapping it around, and then snipping off any extra. And pinching the edge so that it is a tight wrap. And we continue this on. The pliers will make it a lot easier on your hands. I imagine you could do this with no pliers, but it gets quite scratchy on the fingers. The pliers definitely make it easier to make a tighter wrap, and ultimately will also allow you to perhaps wrap from a different perspective. So you just continue adding more beads until it's the length that you want, or if you've already picked out your beads, then you continue until you've used up what you've got. The last bead will have a hook on it. We're not there yet, but we're getting close. And again, I've sped this up so it's a lot faster. I might be dexterous, but I'm not that good. This bead has two holes on it, so we're going to make it's more of a connector bead. So we're going to make a loop on either side, and then attach it with another loop. The drops we are using are from an old chandelier, so we cut off the original connection and are adding our own. Again, the flat nose pliers make it infinitely easier to guide the wire around for a tighter wrap. Wire wrapping the loops makes it far more secure than doing a basic loop that has an opening on it, just in case you have small kids or animals that like to play with that. We are now at the hook making section. So we've folded the wire over and given a little bit of space and wire wrapped the base. We're going to add a little flare to the hook. They're round nose pliers. And then utilize a pencil to create the hook. We're adding a bead and then attaching the last of the loops onto the sun catcher. Here's the flare. So it ultimately depends on how you're going to hang your sun catcher, but the hook makes it infinitely easier. And there you go. There's some pretty sun catchers. We usually just hang them off on the window. In the background you see the wonderful parking lot behind our shop. And there you go, some sparklies. Thank you again for watching. We appreciate your support.